Hi, my name is Federico Bustos, and I'll be speaking on the social dilemma. As a brief disclosure, I do have an open window right here with a few bullet points to guide me as a reference throughout the whole presentation. Now, the social dilemma is a docudrama released in 2020. It is both a documentary on social media and their influence on people and a drama of sorts. However, I do believe that the social dilemma is flawed as a documentary, it is flawed as a melodramatic short film, and it's most definitely not a dilemma. First and foremost, I have to give credit where credit is due, and I believe the documentary made a great job at showing its bias. It did not try to hide it at all, anything that made everything much clearer. Now, moving on to the themes and topics discussed, we see that there is a recurring theme, and that is fatalism. Throughout much of the short film, that was half of the docudrama, we see a family that is starting to spiral down into a lot of personal issues and emotional distress, mostly because of social media and the usage of phones and things like that. And the only person that seemed to be reasonable was the one who did not use social media at all, and that did not really paint a good light. Because on the documentary, it is mentioned that there are good things to social media. However, there is no mention of any of those good things. The only thing they mention is that it's good to stop using them, or that they don't give social media accounts to their children, which is, I think, reasonable within the scope of good parenting. Now, there is also the idea of sensationalism in that we have people like Shoshana Zuboff that mention things like human futures, a sort of coined term by her that correlates to futures in the financial world. If you look it up in places like Investopedia, you will see that they are a concept that is very well established within the financial world and provide stability. They are a great tool at that within the economic world. However, it is brought up as a bad thing, and even then, it's brought up as something feasible, which is, to be honest, quite difficult to grasp, given that human nature is not really that stable as many other things, like prices of commodities. Now, there is also another point brought up by Tristan Harris, and that is that things like the bicycle or the printing press did not stir up things back then when they were invented or inserted into society, and that is just historically untrue. There was a lot of issues with the printing press. You can see a lot of those just looking through Wikipedia pages or even getting your hands into a history book. The bicycle itself did a great job on empowering women and giving them the ability to go places without the need or assistance of somebody else or money. And the idea that they didn't, but social media does, it is quite false. Now, there are good things about this. Some issues like mental health issues are brought up, and I believe that is a good thing because that's a conversation we should have, and we currently have many of them actually about depression, anxiety, and things like that. However, and even then, this being a good thing, there are no solutions to it. It is just mentioned, and there is no room for talk about how there are ways for social media to actually help with this kind of things. So ultimately, we have a Social Dilemma, which is a documentary that failed at providing correct information. It provided sensationalist information and a narrative that was quite dystopian in the drama counterpart. And the good things that were mentioned are not really good things. There was also the idea that democracy run on this, and now it doesn't. So It is most certainly not a dilemma because there are no two options. A dilemma is by definition a choice, an either or of two things, and there is just none here. It is a one sided treatment, and I do not believe that makes it a good or even a reasonable documentary.